Good morning. I am Kottaveiinflux, and every day is a journey into my mind. I gently welcome you to my imagination and the next season of my life. So, this morning, I just want to talk a little bit about girlhood and how it relates to me and my art. As I've mentioned before, probably a million times, came into this world as a creative and an artist. It's very much a part of my being and my spirit. And I call my creativity my inner child. She's my inner child. She's my tender me. She's my youngest, most free twirling in the grass creative part of myself. I just painted a sketchbook that I put these images of this little girl. One's a little caramel girl, one's a little chocolate girl, but they're these little doll looking girls. And somebody asked me who that character was. I was like, that's my rendition of my inner child and what she looks like to me. And asked me, could I make a doll? Which I probably will. I make patterns. I make a pattern for her. My inner child is the whisperings of my mind. So when I'm waiting for an idea or I'm trying to get something refined, I sit and listen to myself and for myself to see if I can get the download on what I'm supposed to be doing. I've been at this artist residency. Today's the third day. And of course, it takes a couple of days to decompress and gather yourself and organize and figure out the direction you want to go. Because oftentimes what you think you're going to do typically is not necessarily what you actually do. So I mapped out a plan and I'm going to pick up a few more art supplies today. But I think a direction's been made for what my inner child would like to play with while I'm here. I know we all have actual friends, but my inner child, as I said, I'm an introvert. I love those moments where I'm sitting with myself and my creativity is running amok in my mind. I joke and tell people, oh, they're like, I would love to be a fly on the wall in your mind. No, you wouldn't. Don't get lost in there. Don't get lost in there. Don't get lost in there. It's fun, but it's a lot. So that young part of yourself that you've let go of, whether you're a writer or a dancer or a visual artist or musician, search for that, do that. Even as an art educator, I always say, I don't teach creativity. I excavate it. It's there. We all come into the world dancing, twirling, singing, drawing, until someone tells us we're doing it wrong. Or we feel embarrassed because we were being watched. I'm never afraid to be seen trying, ever. Whether it's in business, whether it's in art, whether it's cooking something or hula hooping, I'm never afraid of being caught trying because at least there's effort there. So many people are afraid of what it looks like to others, whether it be their friends, their peers, social media. I'm going to tell y'all right now, I do not care. I do not care. And I don't think I ever have. I've been so fully aware of who I was since I was about 11 and made a decision at that point to fully be who I was. Even when there was pushback from others, even when it didn't fit the mainstream, even when my life is to be lived for me with the spirit of how I came into the world. And I'm going to always fully do that. Hold on, I'm drinking my coffee. I need a little sip. Isn't this mug cute? I don't even know what it says if somebody speaks Spanish. But I saw this little feral animal and I was like, oh, this is my coffee mug the whole time I'm here. My inner child, that part of myself when I'm lonely, she's my best friend. It's where my innocence lives. I think adults sometimes lose the innocence in lieu of lack of trust and the world being what the world is. But she and I, we also argue. We argue. We love. She's my best friend. And it's something beautiful about loving yourself, all the pieces of yourself. That youthful, innocent part and that adult self, which unfortunately sometimes we're pushed into. But I think it's deeply beautiful when you can connect with yourself Those who know me know, I hula hoop. I don't like doing exercise that feels like exercise. I hula hoop. I keep jacks in my desk drawer at home and at work. And I mean full metal jacks, red rubber ball. And those who know. Occasionally pick up sticks. I blow bubbles. When it comes to, actually tomorrow's episode is about that, but I blow bubbles because you have to breathe in to release enough air to make that bubble form. And so when someone's stressed, like I usually keep the little wedding bubbles in my bag to breathe in, breathe out. But I'm going to talk about that tomorrow because that's a whole thing in itself. But, it's beautiful to be able to touch that part of yourself that reminds you of your kindness, your sweetness, the raw version of yourself that didn't involve anyone else's opinions, that didn't involve anyone else's thoughts of who you should be and how you should be. These artist residencies are drawing me closer back to that beautiful creative self. And I'm approaching this new season of life as my inner child. Like I was outside yesterday here on the property. Hold on. And I found these and brought some in. It's purple honeysuckle. My whole room smells like honeysuckle. And honeysuckle, along with lavender, is one of my favorite scents. How lucky am I that I get to walk a path that's full of purple honeysuckle every day and get to breathe that air. I can't wait to drag a blanket outside and just stare at the clouds and watch the clouds go by. Those are things of childhood and your inner self. When was the last time you did that? I challenge you. It's warm enough in most places. Drag a blanket outside. Even if you only do it for 5 minutes, lay on your back and watch the clouds go by. You're going to be amazed. Take your shoes off. And I know some of y'all it's dirty. And if you're in the city, find a clean patch of grass. But take your shoes off and put your feet in the grass. Sophisticatedly, people call it grounding. But as children, we always connected to the earth. We were always kicking off our shoes and rolling in the grass and all of those things. And you may not think that's important when it comes to who you are, your youth, your childhood. But it's very important. And I think it engages a very specific part of your brain lights up and your own creativity. Even in terms of cooking, I am creative in that way as well. And so when you engage those parts of yourself that are like, well, try this. I don't know what it's going to do, but try this. I found some really, really tasty combinations by just experimenting and trying things. And that's a whole approach to life. What are you afraid of that's stopping you from tapping into who you were when you were 3 or 5 or 7 or 9 or 10 or 15 or 20 or 21 or 30? Depending on your age, your youth, your best sweet innocence might have been at an age where your creativity was thriving and vibrant and alive, and you want to reach back there and touch it. Do it. Do it. We are human beings. We are spiritual beings having a human existence. Our bodies are not here long. Use it as the vessel to be your best you while you're here. Creativity is so important. When we look at history, people talk about the wars and the people who led those charges. But how do we even know those people existed? You know how? And I said the same thing during COVID quarantine. We know about all those who came before us based on what the creatives left, what the writers wrote, what the people marked in the caves, what the artists drew and built in terms of architecture and sculpture, what the painters painted, what music was left behind, whether it was written music or actual sounds of music. We know about every culture that came before us based on the archives left by the creative. So never, never, never be afraid to engage that part of yourself that leaves something that says you are here. I'll say that again, because I intend to leave plenty that says I was here. And I'm not just talking about my 5 sunshines. I am so much more than a mother, as you'll see as you join me on this journey of travel. Well, I thank you for joining me here today. And as I move through living my life with no ceiling, no floor, no walls, no box, just the world, I hope you'll join me. Kottaveiinflux.